We live in a difficult world right now, and times keep becoming more difficult. We've come out of lockdowns of COVID-19. Companies are trying to get restarted. We've got crushing debt. We've got inflation. We've got high gasoline prices. We've got all this going on. The interest rates are probably going to go up. Taxes are probably going to go up. We're probably going to see devaluation. All this stuff that we lived with in the 1980s. And you know what? God always provided. Never forget that. God always provides. But one of the things you heard in a seminar a few weeks ago is Sister Carol taught everybody in the Manager Executives Fellowship, if you've got a job, keep your job. This is not a time to be job hunting, because before long, there's going to be a hiring freeze beginning to take place in companies. Now, one of the things you have to learn is how to keep your job. And one of the ways you learn to keep your job is to always remember that loyalty and obedience must go up. Now, I want you to notice here in 2 Samuel chapter 18 in our reading today, beginning with verse 11, we learn a lesson about sometimes you don't follow the chain of command. Sometimes you obey the boss and not the 6 different bosses between you and the boss. 2 Samuel 18, beginning with verse 11. What? Joab demanded. You saw him there, you saw Absalom, and you didn't kill him? I would have rewarded you with 10 pieces of silver and a hero's belt. I would not kill the king's son for even 1,000 pieces of silver, the man replied to Joab. We all heard the king say to you and to Abishai and to Attai, for my sake, please spare young Absalom. If I had betrayed the king by killing his son, the king would certainly find out who did it. You yourself would be the first to abandon me. You yourself would be the first to abandon me. Now, the principle I want to teach you here today is that sometimes obedience to the chain of command needs to skip a link. Let me say that again. Sometimes obedience to the chain of command needs to skip a link. This soldier knew the king's command. This soldier knew the duplicity of his immediate superior, Joab. He knew that if I kill the king's son, Joab's going to hang me out to dry. He's mad because I didn't kill the king's son because that's what he wanted. But you know what? Then he would hang me out to dry and I'd wind up losing my life. So what did the young soldier decide to do? I'm going to obey the king. I'm not going to betray the king. I'm going to skip one link in this chain of command. I'm not going to obey my direct boss. I'm going to obey the boss. I'm going to obey the king. Now, beloved, sometimes you have to learn to not betray top leadership of your company, to not violate the policies and procedures of the top leadership of your company. Because you're going to find that there will be second-level managers above you, and they'll tell you to go do something. But you know, when you do it, you're the one that's held responsible, and they'll hang you out to dry. You have to learn, what are the policies of my company, and then follow the policies of the company. Don't follow the directives of a guy like Joab, who, forgive me, and Joab was a guy who really didn't pay much attention to King David. Joab was a man who always wanted to go do his own thing. And every company is going to have managers like that. They think they're smarter than everybody else. They think they're wiser than everybody else. They always want to do their own thing, but you're the one who's going to lose your job. So I want to challenge you. When it comes to obedience to the chain of command, sometimes you need to skip a link and obey the king.